What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are joining us. I know this is typically you just see me, and this is something that we have Wayne and myself. Unfortunately, just before we're getting ready to start, Wayne's mic completely froze up on him, and he had dropped out. So I'm assuming he's working on reconnecting right now and getting back into this pretty soon. We have a great show for you guys today. And we know how you guys really enjoy these what's in their collections. It's always nice to talk to other fellow YouTubers out there that you guys watch and see. And of course, it's great because they show you a lot of the stuff that they get from items. But a lot of times that they have stuff that they've had in their collections before they even started doing YouTube. That it's always kind of nice to get in there and find out what's in their collections. So that's kind of where we're at with this. And we figured, you know what? We are missing a huge opportunity because, everyone we brought on, although everyone's been fantastic bringing in, we have, all mainly done Funko people. I know when we had JB from Discovery Bay, we talked about some of his comic books and stuff like that, but we felt we were missing a huge opportunity here to not bring in some of the comic community people. And we've got two fantastic people for you guys here today. Nope, not flying. If I can speak, not flying solo. Hold on, I'm getting some private chats. I think from Wayne. Nope, I don't know. I'm not flying solo for you guys just joining. Wayne, I think, is working his way back in. Just before we started and went live, Wayne's screen completely froze up and then he disconnected. I don't know what's going on with there. But I'm not flying solo today. Hopefully at some point he will get back into here. I do know that some of you guys may have seen me today. I decided to go out to Disney Springs real quick. That was a lot of fun. Trying to jump out of my comfort zone. Hey, we got actually Wayne back in real quick. Let's bring him on in.
Hey, what's going on?
We just started. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna see what happens here.
Hey, look, I understand. I don't blame you. I don't know. My Wi-Fi just decided that it was cutting off.
Okay.
Kind of strange. That just goes back to that different conversation. So, anyways.
So I brought up about the show and stuff today and things like that. And I was starting to talk about that, I did something I hadn't really done too much before. I decided to go out to Disney Springs today. Since, for me, Disney's right in my backyard. So, I was like, let me go out to Disney Springs. I filmed a video, kind of had the intention of Funkos, but I'm not going to give too much away on the video. I still got to edit that. But, I found a lot of really, really cool stuff out there. They have a lot of really cool stuff, and there's so much more I could have gone looking for out there. But once I was done, I sat down and I started a live stream on Instagram. So if you guys are Instagram, might have gotten a message from me saying I went live, and that's all that was. I just, wanted to talk. I'm trying to get more comfortable. People don't realize it, and I know Wayne and I've talked about this before, that there's a different level of being here in your home or / studio, talking to a camera and being out in public with a bunch of people around looking at you weird going, what is this guy talking to his camera for?
I don't call it studio anymore. I call it my command center.
That works too.
It sounds better. Hey, no, there is a for real difference between like standing at home. And what's funny is when we first started doing this at our home, there really wasn't any difference. It wouldn't have been different if you did it at your home. It wouldn't have been different if you did it in your driveway. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have been different no matter where you did. It was just tough to do. So you get comfortable talking to this camera at your house, and then you try and go out in public, and suddenly it's an all new discomfort level. Mm-hmm. And it's different. So look, I kudos to you for giving that a shot. I'm glad that you got outside of your comfort zone. I actually seen your Instagram live. I didn't catch it while you were live. I caught it after the fact, but everybody should go check that out. It's great. I mean, you didn't really show us a lot of Disney. I'm hoping that in your video I get to see a little bit more of Disney, and I know everyone here is huge Disney fans, or if they're not Disney fans, they should be. I mean, that's just where I'm going to go with that, because Disney has so much to offer anymore. They have Marvel, they have Star Wars, they have everything that we were a kid. Disney's an awesome place. Awesome place. I can't wait to see that video.
It was fun. It was different. But definitely maybe something that I start doing a little bit more often, branching out, doing something a little different. But with that said, before we bring in our first guest, let's set up the chat.
Sounds good to me. I see
Now
that we have quite a few people in here, even though I like dropped off all of a sudden. You know what's funny? It's just before we went live, I was bragging. I didn't know I could close my screen out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, yeah, it'll drop off if I keep playing with it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, just as I went to go hit the opening sequence, all of a sudden I noticed he's frozen. I'm like, well, we're just gonna go with it. See what happens.
I'm like, yeah, let's give the chat a
All
shout
right,
out.
we did have some people in here that were really early. We had Kudo 2020. What's up, man? Funko PDX. What's going on? Hopefully you guys are all still came back in here. We've got I think it's Alex Gamer. What's going on? He was here early. We've got Hail to the Kingdom over there at Chase's Kingdom. We've got our good buddy Kenneth Bird. What's going on, man? We've got the instigator among all instigators, the Bearded Barbarian. We've got the man who is a walking encyclopedia of Star Wars, JKL Awesome.
JKL is a walking, talking encyclopedia when it comes to Star Wars, unlike anything I've ever seen. And I'll tell you what's funny is I started watching videos because I'm going to try and get on his level before I go live with him again. And I know it's impossible. I know it's impossible.
I don't think you can keep up with him.
I know it's impossible, but I have been trying to cram information into that peanut.
Actually, watch the video when I did go I remembered something from that live stream we did last week, and I found something at Springs that goes right up that alley that if we had not done a live stream, I would have had no idea what this thing was.
So what was it?
You got to watch the video.
You're killing me. The suspense.
I'm gonna leave the suspense there.
It's killing us.
We've got our buddy John Lockwood. What's up, man? We've got the Rat Boy Show. New to the show. I love the name.
I've seen a lot of new names over there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of new names. But hey, welcome to the show. Thank you. We've got Tori over at Unuseful Boxings with his typical tagline of Boston sucks. This is coming from a New York fan, so we really don't pay attention to anything he has to say. We've got our buddy Chris over at K&L Collectibles. What's going on, bud? Always appreciate you coming in. We've got another new person, Holly Robinson. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. And hopefully this lives up to what you're hoping. I've got my buddy Donald Newman. I miss this guy. This guy was just out here at Disney World. Apparently he messaged me and I completely missed it. It was not intentional.
Oh, you did that on purpose. Don't tell him you didn't do that on purpose. You were snuffing him.
I had to tell him, but you know me as well as anybody. I am nonstop busy all the time during the day.
It's very true. Very true.
He gets it all the time when we do our weekday phone call, and sometimes I have to push it back as of whatever is going on. But I think that's all. I think I've got caught up with everybody so far. If I didn't hit you up, hopefully we'll try to hit you up through the video. But
I noticed the Bearded Barbarian said something about an Apple Series 1. What is an Apple? I mean, that's my question to that. What is an Apple? I really
Mac computer. Come on, man.
We got to run these PCs so that they crash and we start playing with them too much.
I'm Mac all the way. I'm Mac everywhere.
I definitely should be. It would make my life a lot easier. It would definitely make my life a lot easier. How did Tommy? Okay. Yeah, big time new Chris. Bearded Barbarian always instigates anything, but I bet he's got his Wimbots going. I bet that we have some Wimp. We don't have any giveaways today, but I'm terribly sorry.
We don't have giveaways, and we will go on. Towards the end of the show, we're going to talk about some brief Funko news that came through about the New York City Comic-Con. So stay tuned. We will go over that towards the end of the chat. But
have you picked up any new Funkos lately?
No, I seen some at Disney today, and I wasn't. I don't know. None caught my eye to grab. So I have not picked up anything new lately.
I have so many on the back burner that I'm not picking up any right now. I think my next pickup will be New York Con.
I know I've got a box that just said I shipped from Funko, and I forgot what I ordered, so I had to go mystery back box. And see what I had.
No. Don't do that. It's a mystery box now. It is a Funko Shop mystery box.
Exactly.
If you only knew how many of those I actually have from Apple Collectibles. So my wife says, hey, you need to stop ordering stuff online. And that's why I'm not ordering anything online. What are you talking about? I'm not ordering anything online. She says, you're ordering stuff all the time. So I go to my Big Apple, not Big Apple. I go to my Entertainment Earth. I don't order from Big Apple. So I go to my Entertainment Earth, and you're back, you when you place those pre-orders, well, they're all coming in earlier than they actually had them going. So I thought they were going to go in November. I thought they were going to go in December. I even thought I had some for January. No, they're all piling on this month. So I'm steady getting boxes, and I don't know what's in them anymore. So now I'm starting to cheat. I'm starting to open them up and kind of pull the shipping label out a little bit so that I can read what's on the shipping label. So at least I have an idea what I'm talking about before I start talking.
Sometimes I don't even pick it up by that. I literally it's a mystery box because I don't remember where I got it from. Because sometimes they're not even not everything's really on top of that. But who knows? It's a fun mystery that you get.
They are a fun mystery, but then it messes up how I do intros and everything else. I mean, it messes up my whole gameplay because I have a little Wayne concert going on, and next thing you know, I'm opening Easy E. I mean, it messes up
the completely wrong item.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that video. That was a good one.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't. Look, I saved it somehow there at the end, but no, it really wasn't. It was one of those videos. I was like, maybe I have too many orders going on.
That happens. I know some YouTubers have huge box collections. So, without further ado, let's get to our first guest. Now, this man, I've had the pleasure of having some great conversations with him. And in fact, I was even more of a fan when I realized that he was in a favorite show series of mine. And if you guys are comic book fans and you guys have not checked out Comic Book Men with Kevin Smith, you are missing out. You need to get on to Amazon Prime and check that out. This man is in that show. Well, for one episode, but still, that's cool as it is. So without further ado, we bring in Adrian, APM. What is going on, buddy?
Why, hello. Hello, everyone.
So I bring up Comic Book Man because I always love it. I remember watching that episode, and then you told me you were in it, and I had to go back and watch it again.
Sure.
You look so much different in that episode than you do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the hat was off. I had blonde hair. I mean, it was like a whole different thing.
What show were you in?
The show Comic Book Men, season 6, episode 6.
It's a series about because Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, who Jay and Silent Bob have a comic book store in New Jersey, I believe, and it's their comic book store. Yeah, and his buddy runs it, and they have a lot of fun. It's a really interesting, fun show, and I've learned a lot of interesting stuff about comics from that show. Because they do give some really good information on things. That's the show where I found out that there's a museum over somewhere that actually has an Action Comics #1 in pristine condition, which is rare. But that was fantastic. I mean, you don't have any Action Comics #1 over there, do you, Adrian?
I don't have Action Comics #1. No. I wish. I mean, that book would be at least over $1 million, if not $2.
Yeah, I think there's only about 100 left in existence.
Yeah, there's not many, and there's the few. There's Nicolas Cage. He had a huge comic book collection, but then when he went wrong with his taxes, he had to sell off his comic collection. So, but you get them as you actually know when you're buying a Nicolas Cage book, it comes as like a pedigree. It'll say part of Nicolas Cage's collection. So you actually will be like, this is part of Nick Cage. You're gonna be like. And I just was like, man, I'm still trying to get one. I'm like, I want part of Nick Cage's collection.
You want something of Nick Cage's collection?
Yeah, that is too funny.
So, first of all, I have to ask, as a person like me, I was a big comic book kid, spending a lot of time in the comic book stores as a kid, reading the comics, because back then the owners didn't care. We sat on the floor and read the comic books while we were there.
Sure.
Now, how far back does your comic infatuation come from?
It goes way back, actually. I remember living obviously we all lived with our parents at one time. Some might still, which these days it's not that big of a deal, but I just remember my brother was into skateboarding, I was into comics, and at one point we turned our basement into a half comic book and half skateboard shop. Now this wasn't on the level, but so on my one side, I had this whole wall of comics, and we'd invite friends over, like, oh yeah, you want to buy a skateboard? You want to buy some comics? And so this is when I was a kid, living in my parents. So it's been a long time, man. I mean, probably since I could just like recall. I mean, I got like pictures of me like when I was a young kid wearing like a Star Wars shirt, you know, and then it went from Star Wars to Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man was really what got me into comics. So, and it's kind of been ever since, man. Like, and I've kept it with it over the years. Like I still have a lot of the books I've had since the beginning. You know, there are times where it fluctuated, you know, where I'd be like, okay, I got to focus more on this and, you know, focus more on my company focus more on this. And, you know, but still, it's always been part of my life. Comics is just, I don't know, I love comics.
Now, I've been trying to get Wayne to go down the rabbit hole of comics for a while. He started personally getting there. He's a giant Deadpool fan. Okay. What kind of advice would you give a person that's just starting into comics? Well,
I guess first I'll say if you're a Deadpool fan, right now is a good time to get Deadpool because there's technically, you know, Deadpool 3 is not coming out for a while yet. So all the books will be on a very cheap level. You know, you can actually get it for reasonably priced. You know, I mean, New Mutants 98, not saying you're going to get the first appearance for cheap, but you can get runs and everything. So right now is a good time to get it. But if you're just getting into it, the best thing to do, I mean, you know, and I know we all do mystery boxes and stuff. You know, I do more so comic ones. I do some pop ones too. But I guess, you know, just don't, you know, try not to go overboard. You know, like do a little research. You know, be like, okay, this volume 1 of Deadpool looks really good, or volume 2 looks really good, and you know, or if you're gonna get a mystery box, you know, get a mystery box that gives you variety, so you could read like 10 different books and be like, oh, I really like this book from Image Comics, or this DC book was awesome. You know, try to just, you know, find out, you know, who you like. You know, if you like Deadpool, look at Deadpool. If you like, you know, anything from like Wildcats, you know, you could get Wildcats for a penny. So, you know, like there's just different ways you can go about it, you know?
Well, I think one of the biggest things I had to learn right off the jump was that they're not all written by the same person. So you can read one series and really be into it and not really be into the next series. So, so Deadpool Duck is one of them that I'm actively trying to find. I think they are hysterical. They're one of the funniest things I've ever read when it comes to the Deadpool Duck. But then I can turn right around and read the next series with the next artist and the next writer, and I think it's garbage.
Yeah,
so I think that one of the first things I had to learn is that they're all not created equal. Even though it's Deadpool, they're not all the same. And the other thing is I can't seem to get anyone to ship them to my house when it comes to the new ones, not the old ones. I can't get the new comic sent to my house every month, and I live an hour away from all civilization for the most part. When it comes to anything geek, nerdy, or anything to that effect, I live about an hour away from any of that. So getting someone to ship the monthly Deadpool to my house, for some reason, I don't understand why comic book stores don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. You know, I know most will go out their way, like, well, we got somebody that wants to collect, and honestly, to ship comics, it's not terrible. I mean, you could throw 50 in a priority box and, you know, spend $13 or $15.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that it would be an easy solution, right? I mean, for some reason.
Oh, we froze him again. We did it.
That's what happens when you live way out there.
Yeah, he doesn't usually have a problem. It's just he's way out there. They must be doing work on his line right now.
There's a squirrel chewing on one of the.
There. Wait. Oh, do we get him back?
All right. Not luckily though. Look at. So let's get on to this topic. So I was going to move this down into my command center, right? Because my command center is wired, and my loft, however, is not. So I'm running through a plugged-in like router that goes to my other router. That, let's be totally honest, I can game on this system. I've done it a lot of times. But I said to myself today, I said, you know, in case you ever have Wi-Fi problems, you should probably like move this down to your studio. I'm calling command center because I think I'm funny, but I should move it down there so that I can wire it in and not have these problems. We're having these problems, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see that John Lockwood said something about
I just going to bring that up.
There's like Midtown Comics. They'll ship to you.
Midtown Comics, or are they online or something? Because that's been my biggest problem.
Like their main hub, like they have a big store in New York, and but they're, you know, some people like them, some people don't though. So you really have to find, you know, there's so many companies that will ship to you. But I get it. You were still trying to make it kind of localish,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
See, I get that. You're trying to support at least what's close to you, you know, something close to you. So
it's always good to try to get out there and support your local comics.
We tend to have Summit City, and that's the biggest one that I found here, but I think they're a chain. I mean, I'm pretty convinced that they're a chain.
Yeah, Midtown. That's a big one. That's it's a big, but it's well known for shipping comics online. So
earlier when we were talking, you said you had some Funkos. What kind of Funkos do you have? Let's get into my world for a second.
Sure. I got like all the Spider-Verse. So you go from Spider-Man to Miles to Spider, like Spider-Ham, like everybody,
See, Wayne and I have this discussion when it comes to Miles because I am a huge Miles fan. I absolutely love Miles. I think Into the Spider-Verse was a fantastic movie.
It is.
No matter what color the webbing is, he sees them all as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Whether it's Gwen or whether it's Miles, it's all Spider-Man. Being a comic guy, of course, the difference between what Peter Parker and Miles is. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a huge Miles fan. I hope they do so much more with him.
Oh, I can't wait. But yeah, so besides all the Spider-Verse, I got like a lot of Batman. I got like a bunch of different versions of Batman. I got like the older Batman. I got the newer Batman. Harley, Joker. I got up on my shelf over here. I got like a special edition Conan O'Brien. I got the Dude Lebowski, which I found out
the Big Lebowski.
I was like, oh, all right. Then I got like, since I'm in Wisconsin, I got like Giannis up there. I got Bernie, I got Aaron Rodgers. And then I collect certain movie ones. So I got like John Wick, Nacho Libre, and what else do I got? Not Nacho Libre. Is it Nacho? Yeah, Nacho Libre, right?
But it's something for you that like a lot of us collectors. I mean, and that's mine. I've gone so much more further just because I've gone. But originally, when I started doing my shows and started getting into Funkos, I was all about, man, I'm only going to keep the ones that really, really mean something to me, and I still do. But now it's like, ooh, Marvel, let me go here. Ooh, zombies, let me go here.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now I got to have them all. Now it's like my other big thing right now is Back to the Future. I have to find everything Back to the Future because I absolutely love the movie.
Yeah, I would love to have the little Doc Brown one. I would love to have that. I've seen it and I think it'd be great. But I only got like eight pops that are still in the box. So there's probably
so you're more of an out of box collector.
Yeah, just because if you're not setting up like I said, if this shelf had like all in the box, I wouldn't be able to set it up with certain comics as the way it is, So it's it's like I take them out and I've had people go, wait, you took that one out? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not gonna ever sell it. That's not the point of it. It's for me. It goes with I got Miles, he sits next to Ultimate Fallout number 4, his first appearance, or I got, Into this Edge of the Spider-Verse number 2, that's it next to, Gwen, she's next to that, you know what I mean? So I have certain comics that I like to set the pop next to, so.
Yeah, and you're definitely not going to take them out. I know Wayne does out of box too, and so do I.
I used to do a lot of out of the box. So all of mine kind of came out of the box like you're doing now until I discovered that you only had so much shelf space. So now I have a lot of them that are in the box because you can actually get more on the shelf in the box than you can out. Because you can stack them in the box, you can't stack them out of the box, and then I can put them in front of the boxes out of the box. So I think at some point you start to make that crossover, and that's how when you said that you didn't have that many, you're being like honest because you have them all out of the box. At some point they will start like staying in the box. So
it's probably about 50. I probably have about 50.
Yeah, that's still solid.
It's probably more than some.
Yeah, that's still a solid collection. Yes.
Well, I know you've probably gotten a good amount from the collectible swaps and things like that that's gone on and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely got a couple, one of my, Miles Morales Gamer, I got that from them. One of my cool Spidey ones, and that's why those things are so much fun because, and somebody just sent me an A-OK. They're like, oh yeah, just, you're going to have a bunch of pops. They're not worth it. But for me, I'm like, that's not why I'm collecting them. I'm not. I'm like, if you're sending me that, I'm just going to throw it on my shelf. Or, what I mean?
I don't know what the value of them. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't really know the value of them.
Well, trust me, I'm very familiar with Pop Price Guide. Okay, so but it's because I'll be out and about and like, haven't I seen that before? I'll be like, oh, let me see proper. Oh, all right, that's worth picking up. So we've all done that.
Oh yeah, you sticker hunt. You got to. I always have the apps and the website always ready to go in case I ever need to. But yeah, that's always the great thing for those. But now you had said something to me the other day that I thought was interesting, because you had told me when we were talking about the show, you're like, well, do I need to bring anything? Because most of my stuff is in dry storage or a safety box.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't even think, I mean, being a comic book guy, of course, I'm sure you've got boxes upon boxes of comics.
Too many.
But you actually have a full dry storage to keep them all nice. And
I was about to ask you to elaborate on that.
Yeah, because before the pandemic, I was doing shows. Like I would sell at shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I so I'm a collector / trade / seller. That's what. And I did shows, man, and that's what I did. So I had to have an area to have all the books at. And all of a sudden it hit, and it's like, well, I'm not going to go do shows anymore. Like, people are like, oh, you can wear a mask. I'm like, no, because there are people who are just not careful, and I'm not going to jeopardize my family. Like that's just like no. So then it's like, so it all, it's there, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Dry storage really isn't that expensive. So, and then for like Grail books, I put those in, a safety box or whatever you want to call it, because that's something that's like, if something ever happens to me, family's taken care of, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, we've always talked about it with collections. You got your collection, at least if you know what your value is, and if worse comes to worse, if you ever had to just get rid of them or something, it was there.
My collection, everything's insured, man. Everything's like, I do it to the T. I make sure it's all, you have to, just because, like I said, if anything ever happened, I want to make sure that everyone is okay, so, because I know I have friends, but I don't. Oh, I'll help you sell this collection. Oh, this is only worth $100.
$100,
$2,000 book.
No, you got. Those are things you got to take to auction.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, but it's and I know some people are like, oh, why do you keep it? Like, I do keep stuff here, of course. I have part of my collection here because there's stuff I like to go through. I like to read it still, and that's a big thing these days. Like, yeah, I'll get a new comic, but I'll also get the variant. I never read the variants because you really don't read the variants. You try to get the normal cover, and the variants just for show. It's the art, that's why you get a variant. But I'll kind of go, there's a lot of new comics coming out, so it's been interesting compared to how it used to be. Now it's like I can go 1 week and the pull list at a comic shop's like, oh, I gotta get 20 books. Oh my god, like that can add up after a while.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
But there's also a lot of good writers now. I mean, I feel like there's more. I mean, there's always been good writers. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of good writers, a lot of good art, and I mean, there's so many cool, especially indie books, man. Those things are on fire right now. There is some excellent writing going on. Like, there's one called "You Only Find Them When They're Dead."
Oh, and that sounds interesting.
I'd recommend it. It's from Image. I'd recommend it. You can get it for the cover price, $4 right now. And there's a new one that came out called Stillwater. I mean, there are so many really good books that are coming. Right now, everyone, is a time to jump on those books because the price is good, and they're just by reading these, they're going to become something later on. So, and
I think that's why a lot of us, like Wayne and I talk, we kind of miss the cons a lot because not only do you have some great stuff going on, but when I went to the beginning of the year, I got a chance to go to a smaller one, and I got a chance to talk to some. Actually, what's funny is, it was the comic book guys. I was so nervous going into that con because I knew I wanted to film, but sure. just like today, how I was out at Disney Springs, just trying to get over that. I was so nervous going into that I didn't know what to do or anything like that. And it was a couple of the comic book guys, trying to promote their comics that helped me kind of ease into this and break the ice and stuff like that. And it was great to be able to talk to them. And I bought all their comics. Of course. When you're at a con like that, it's cool because you can not only buy their comics, but you can also give them to sign them as well, which is always fun to do. But it was great, and that's why I think we're missing cons a little bit, because you can get into there, and I've got a good buddy of mine that's all about Image. He likes everything from Image, and that's why I don't think he's on today because he was telling me he was judging something. But we have Comic Book Poser, who's a good friend of the show's. He's all about the indie comics and stuff like that. And I push him on to checking him out. But but going back a little bit, now we know that you said Spider-Man was your all-time favorite character.
Yeah, that was like, that's what originally, grabbed my attention.
So I have to ask real quick, what is your most valued comic you have in your collection?
First appearance of Spider-Man. Amazing Fantasy 15.
Amazing Fantasy 15. Wow.
Yeah, it's a low grade. It's a low grade, but they still hold their value,
What does a comic like that go for nowadays?
In the one I have, like I said, it's a low grade, so just off the top, I'll just say, since it's low grade, I'll say between 5,000 and 10,000.
Oh wow!
And that remember, I got that before it was like the prices have gone,
Right.
So like I got that before it was like all that. So I know somebody be like, oh, you got that? Wow, he's got a lot of money. It's like, no, that has nothing to do with it. It's like, I got it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Where it was a decent amount, but I also took comics. Like I took some really like another pile of great comics, and it was like, I can use this to get that,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, I'd love to have it here in the house, like up, but I'm like, just in case, I'm really nervous about. Hence why it's in the lockbox. So it's like,
it's kind of like having Action Comics #1. It'd be cool to have it on the wall, but you don't want that touching anything else.
Because you don't know, like, who knows what could happen. And it's like, and if I want to, like, eventually, actually, within either by the end of this year or the beginning of next year, I'm gonna do a video where I finally go and kind of like show, like, a lot of the great, like, a lot of the books, because I want people to see them, So.
Now, guys, too, in the chat, if you guys have any questions for Adrian, definitely hit us up. He'll be on here. We still got a lot more time to talk. And we did have John said, comics, what got me into Funkos.
Nice.
Not a small problem there a lot of times.
And I saw his other comment too, where he said the Kickstarter for OMG. I also funny thing is I backed that too, the same one. So props to you, John, for doing that. And then I got another one of my favorite books. It's not worth a whole lot, but it's The Adventures of Jim Halpert. It's the original guy who did the art for the Office when they had that comic book.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like with the bear. Like so. It's the small things. Just because a book is not super valuable doesn't mean it's not important.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
We did have one question from Eric from Two Boys and Their Pops. It says, if you can create your own comic, Adrian, with any 5 characters of any genre, who would you pick? That's a good question.
That's going to be a tough one.
With any 5 characters. So
that means you can cross DC and Marvel, although there has been Marvel DC crossovers.
Existing characters, or you're making up your own? That's what is it?
I think he means like characters from other books is what I would gather when he says that. If you could pick any 5 characters, I already know like Chris's top pick. I know what my top pick would be.
Would go Spidey.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Batman, Deadpool. I think Flash, because I do enjoy Flash. I can't lie about that. I do enjoy Flash. Miles, just because it'd be cool, So
I'm the same way with DC. If I ever had to pick a DC character, it'd be the Flash.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's so many good DC characters
some people
out there.
Don't like. I read the books, the Flash books, but it's great. I know some people don't like the show because I think it's too.
I love the show.
Too, what is the word? Like it's too fluffy or too, but I like it. I enjoy. I'm the type of guy who will not diss a movie or a comic show because I'm just so happy that it's on and I'm seeing it. It just makes me happy. Like I'm like, ooh, great, another comic book movie. Everyone's like, oh, it's bad ratings. So it's like, well, whatever. I'm gonna watch it because I'm happy because it's another comic book movie.
So are you even gonna go watch the sparkly Batman, Robert Pattinson?
Oh, don't even call him Sparkly Batman.
What do you mean? Everybody's gonna watch that.
I realize
it's a DC movie.
Trailer, that's only 25% of what was shot for the movie.
That trailer is horrible, though.
But is it? It's dark and gritty, which it needs. I think it's going even beyond like Batman Begins. It's like it's even darker than that. So
I like this guy. I knew you brought him on for a reason.
So, yeah, but my thing is though, because I don't know what the premise of the movie is, but I think the outfit. Let's just talk about the Batman outfit for him. Sure. It's horrible. It's ugly.
You can say that, yeah, but it's basing it off of more of just a real, like it's even going more real than the other ones have gone. Like this is like what he did. He's like just putting this together just to do this, like I feel like it's just going to be so real. You're like, wow. Like people are like, I could be Batman. You know,
Batman now, yeah. Well, I think that's the what makes Batman so awesome, right? Is that everyone feels like they could be Batman.
Exactly, because you don't have a superpower. You don't,
Right.
you know. And
No.
honestly, I think he's great for the part. I mean, Robert Pattinson's like if you've seen other movies, like The Lighthouse, if you've seen anything he's done, the dude's a good actor. Like, don't get me wrong. I get some people do get stuck up on him being. I mean, I used to have my band. I had a band. By the way, you go to reverbnation.com/bigger than you. Reverbnation.com/bigger than you. It's all free for downloads. But we have a
put the
the
plugs in there.
plug.
Put the plugs.
Love the
there's a song
plug.
called Wanalea. You know, that's a Star Wars one. But there's also a song where I'm like, you know, I want to. Was it like something about glowing, sparkly like a vampire? You know. But the point is like, yeah, we all made fun of that, had fun with it, but now I've seen the dude evolve, and he can act, and that's important. If you can act, I give you you know, I'm not gonna. And again, I'll watch it, and maybe it'll be not what I expected. You know?
Well, see, I think because I've seen none of the Twilight Saga that I'm not as hard on him as a lot of people are.
Sure. Yeah.
He can't be any worse than some of them that they've had. I mean, they've had some pretty like bad roles in Batman already. So I mean, it just can't get any worse. I mean, you could only be positive about the direction they're going.
We did have a
we're
George
talking about
Clooney.
DC.
Hey, I love.
We did have a George Clooney
Hey,
Batman. Come on.
come on, Dust Till Dawn. I mean, come on, George Clooney. Come on.
I like Dust Till Dawn. That's a great
I don't
movie.
down George Clooney as the actor. George Clooney, the Batman. No.
I will admit that it was a very odd choice. You know, like
Hey, Big Country.
You're like kind of like, whoa, George Clooney. Huh? All right, then you know. But I still let it go. I mean, I haven't seen the movie in years, but I don't want to watch it again because then I don't want to be like, oh, I can't watch it anymore. Like you know.
But
I want to remember it for its silliness. You know.
I haven't seen the trailer to the new Batman either, so you know I don't watch a lot of TV, so I miss a lot of that unless it's like The Mandalorian.
They took a Nirvana song and they made it really work. Just watch the new trailer.
I'm gonna make sure I go check it out when we're down here today, so I know what we're talking about a little bit better. But you got
Nirvana
to give him,
song was great. That's about the best part of that trailer.
You have to give him a chance before you like take it away. I mean that's how I feel on that. Look, if he fails, he fails. He's not going to be any worse than Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck was a horrible Batman. That's how I feel. That was my personal opinion.
You know,
I think he held his own.
I don't judge it that much. I
don't know.
I think everyone portrays the character in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he portrayed it. He was a little older,
Yep.
you know, Batman. You know what I mean? Like he was more of like the Frank Miller comic book Batman. You know, like there was just certain, or at least how I thought the bulkiness. You know what I mean? Some people didn't like that, but they were doing it different. I mean, I get it. They're always trying new stuff, so they don't speak, you know, like, oh, here's a spoonful more of this, the same thing, you know, because we don't want the same thing. We want something different. So
we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna at least give him a chance before I decide that I'm not liking it.
Sure.
I mean, for all we know, that he'll be like Ben Affleck when it comes to not Ben Affleck. Who played Deadpool?
Oh,
Ryan
why did I go blank there? For all I know, for all we know, he'd be like the Deadpool, and that'll be great. I mean, he's a great actor in that role. I don't think they could have picked a better actor for that role.
Well, I mean, he didn't get picked. I mean,
he made it.
He put it together. The movie got made because of him. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
He pushed for it, and he's Deadpool all the way.
Years, man, he was pushing for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's Deadpool all the way. Anytime you watch him play that role, I mean, it's Deadpool all the way.
Right.
Well, that kind of stemmed from his original Wade Wilson appearance in Blade Trinity. Although the ending of that with the sewing of the mouth was just. I mean,
you're talking about that's from the X-Men movies, not from Blade. In Blade,
no.
he was one of the characters. Yeah, it's from the X-Men movies where he played the god awful version of Deadpool.
I don't remember that one.
At least they make fun of it. I think it was X-Men Last Stand, or maybe before that. I don't remember, but
didn't he? His character in Blade Trinity was Wade Wilson, wasn't it?
No,
it wasn't.
No.
I gotta go back and watch that now. I'm so confused.
Throw up Two Boys in Their Pop comment that they have.
Yes, I did. He did have a really good question.
This is going to go into a question that I have for you, but I'm going to let you answer this. It says,
if I wanted to sell my collection, what would be the steps I should take to get the most out of my collection?
Like if you're really looking to sell right away, obviously go to a shop, but they're going to offer you 50% of what it's worth. Because they have to make their price.
Right.
Otherwise, the best idea is like get it all together and sell it as a whole, because if you try to sell it individually, not only will it take a long time, you have to put a lot of extra work into it. I mean, find out, get an idea what you think it's worth to you. Like people, I've sold books for well below what they're worth, because some people attach sentimental value to them, or, oh, I saw it just sold for 250. I should get 250. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Get an idea of what you would like to make. Don't try to get what you put into it, because sometimes, I mean, there are books that go up in value. Yeah. I mean, if that happened, great. Base it off of like the last 20 sales and try to find a common price. But yeah, just don't try to move it too quick. Do a little research and then slowly be like, okay, this is what I want. I'm selling a whole collection, because you'll get people that buy collections. I have people hit me up all the time. Hey, I got a collection. Will you come take a look? And I say, of course, I'll come take a look. So
exactly.
So let's go to the opposite end of that spectrum as a buyer, because there's like my one grail that I want in life, which is going to be 249 Batman Detective Series, where he's the first appearance of the rainbow suits is the cover of it, and that's the only reason I want it. It's for the cover. I don't want to read it, don't want to look at it,
sure.
But it's a kind of expensive book.
Sure.
Right. So as a buyer, how do you go about buying one in a trustworthy way? Because there's lots of people that'll knock stuff off to make $1, right? I mean, it's just the way
you're kind of saying, like, avoiding eBay, I'm assuming.
eBay is probably one that I think I should avoid, but that's why I asked you, how would you go about finding a particular book
these days? With, like I said, like, even like how I was talking before about how I was doing shows, and then I started focusing back on my Instagram and making my YouTube more of a presence. Like, I would reach out into the community on like Instagram, because you'll get people that give you fair prices. People aren't trying to like just knock you off for, like, I've realized there are so many great, there are a lot of great people here, not just like for Funko and comics. I mean,
yes, no, I
finally got my Batman Beyond pop from Kiki Mama Bear.
So I kind of feel like this community intertwines together. I mean, regardless if the Funko people want to believe that or not, I think Chris kind of helped me see that a lot of your pops that are coming out are coming from comic books. They didn't, it wasn't some genius sat down somewhere and said, oh, look at this great idea I had. Oh, no. He took that off a comic book cover somewhere and said, let's turn it into a pop. I mean, and that's why I want the Batman Rainbow, because they made a whole soda line off of Batman with the rainbow suits, which goes to that cover. So that cover would look great sitting next to my pop rainbows.
I feel the same way.
So I feel like these communities go together a lot, and they're great communities. I mean, or great community. Let's not say communities. There's a lot of good people. So you would go basically to Instagram and ask people if they have it, see if they want to sell it.
Put a post up and try to tag a few people, even if you don't know them. Be like, okay, I've seen this guy. I know I've heard this guy post up, and just tag them in the post. And next thing you know, somebody's going to be contacting you. Be like, oh, you could just talk to so and so. Or, hey, you could talk to Very Gary, or, hey, you could talk to, somebody will link you to somebody. That way you're not, I feel like if you get, just make sure they have a good presence. Make sure they sold things with people. If the guy has one follower, obviously that's not someone you want to deal with, So,
right.
Same thing on eBay. If you see somebody with one feedback, you're like, hey, I'm going to wait.
You need to sell a little bit more before I go into that one.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is I got to ask you, talking about Wayne looking for that one. I mean, of course, you know me, I'm the big Captain America fan.
Yeah.
I love everything Captain America, but there has been one Spider-Man comic, and of course, I'm not in a rush to find it because I know it's going to be expensive when I do find it.
Sure.
I'm wondering, being the big Spider-Man fan, do you have the 9/11 issue?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
If for most of you that don't know, the 9/11 issue is, to me, was a very special issue because it was rare. They didn't make it. I don't think they printed a lot, did they?
No, they didn't. I mean, there's a new obviously, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there's Newsstand, which has the label, and there's like direct edition. So there's one you would find going up to like the booth to get a paper somewhere, and then there's ones that were direct to the shop or direct to you. Some were sent direct to you. So, but
this issue I thought was cool because it was one of the first comics that really jumped on what was happening in the world, because of course the 9/11 was based in New York. Where is Spider-Man based? New York. So they felt that they had to respond to what was happening and kind of put real world actions into a comic book. And I've always wanted to read it, but again, I have not gotten a chance to read it yet.
I'm just telling you, like I reread it this year again on 9/11, and it literally I choked up like I do almost every time, like because it's just like, man, the way it's so well done. Like it's one of the, I mean, it has some of the most iconic like comic book like kind of pictures, like, and they don't take away from who was helping, who was doing the jobs, and I mean honestly, I just sent I got one. I also sent it out to be graded, and I was just like, because I've read so many times, I was like, this is something that's gonna stay, like, encapsulated forever, like because it's if I get another one, I'd be happy to hook you up with it, man, because it is such an amazing book. Actually, I probably do have another one. I'll just look for it. But it is seriously, you need to read it. Like, I don't know. If you haven't read it, anyone, please read it. It's worth reading. It's an amazing book.
It's definitely been one that's been on my list. Like I said, for me, although I'm a big Captain America fan, Spider-Man's probably a close second to me because everything about Spider-Man I've always enjoyed. Into there. Now, actually, going to do a discussion I think Wayne and I had a couple weeks ago. I was wondering, being into comics for so long, and I'm assuming you're more of a Marvel fan than anything.
It is, yeah. It's half. I do love Batman. I do love my DC, but I also, Spidey and Deadpool are some of my tops. So,
did you ever get to meet the legend among legends, Stan Lee?
God, no, and it's one of my biggest regrets because he was 4 minutes away from me. Where I live, they have a thing. It's called EAA. It's an air adventure. It's where we have about 1 million. Yeah, it's over 1 million people fly in from like it's one of the biggest air shows in the world. And he came in to do something with it was like they created a new superhero. It was for like young aviators, and he was at the show, and for some reason like something happened where I couldn't go, and oh man, I beat myself up every day because mind you, I still have like right there that like. This one right here was signed. This comic, you can't really see it, but it was signed on his last birthday, alive. So to me, that's like it's not super value. This one right here, it's not super value, but that doesn't matter. Like the litter was signed. Like I was so happy to get it. I do have other signed Stan Lee books, but yeah, man, not meeting him. I mean, talk about like regret. And we all have regrets. Like, oh, I wish I'd have done this, or done like. But for him to be so close and something like work or something popping up to interrupt that, man, just made for like a sad story. Yeah. And I was gonna like plan to meet him coming up, and then all of a sudden that happened. So
yeah, it definitely. I never got the opportunity to meet him, and when I lived in Vegas, he was in Vegas all the time, and I never took the chance to do it, and. Yeah, that one kind of sucked, but yeah, I know Wayne and I were talking about that a couple weeks ago because I heard he's just was just a down to earth guy to talk to.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you ever watch, if you go on YouTube, if you look up the Stan Lee, I forget what it's called. You could probably just look up Stan Lee documentary. It's a really cool documentary, and it's free on YouTube, so you can go look it up, watch it. I mean, it'll make you love him so much more. Like you see him and his wife just so happy together. Like it's an amazing documentary. I recommend it. So,
well, let me ask you this, and actually, this goes a question for Wayne too. If we're talking about signatures, if you could get one thing signed from someone living today, what would you want to get signed? And same thing for Wayne. If we're going to get a Funko Pop signed, what would be your ultimately most wanted item signed?
I don't really know.
Yeah, it's funny. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like, wow.
I guess I never really thought about it. I wish the cons would come back around. I mean, because that's how you get stuff signed. I mean, or the easy way to get stuff signed. I don't know. I normally just look at the cons and see who's going to be there and decide what I want signed. I miss getting Chewbacca to sign like some of my stuff. So, I mean, I can't think of the actor's name, but
I could say on both ends.
He passed away. The guy that played Chewbacca, he did pass away.
Did
he pass away? It had to be just recently.
Yeah, it was not that long ago. Yep.
Yeah. I can say it on both ends. I'll say anything Jim Lee. I would love to meet Jim Lee.
Oh yeah, he's more accessible now. So
yeah, I think he was just his artwork is through the years has been absolutely fantastic, and love everything Jim Lee has ever done. So I'd love to meet the guy. I'd love to get any one of his comic books signed. It really doesn't matter to me.
Sure.
And then of course on the other side, being a Captain America fan, I am, and I think that Chris Evans brought huge amount of respect to Captain America. I would love to have Chris Evans sign a Captain America.
I'll let your answer help my answer. I would love to get something either from I'll just Ryan. I do have like an old Ryan Reynolds thing, but that's from Van Wilder. But like something new on the Deadpool, like on the Deadpool front, or Paul Rudd maybe. Like
some Ant-Man stuff. Paul. I mean, he's just fantastic. I mean, he's just a great actor, great person, from what I understand.
Yeah, seems like a fun thing. Oh, Dean Cain. Oh yeah, Lois and Clark. Oh yeah, get a little.
Dean, I had to put that one. I thought that one was cool. Peter Mayhew. That's another great one there. Mila.
Oh, okay. So like maybe like a what's the game?
Isn't that Resident Evil?
Resident Evil, thank you.
Resident Evil, there you go. So you got anything, Wayne?
Not a thing. Not a thing. Look, I guess I never really thought about like getting stuff signed. I like to get my pop signed at cons, but like I said, I kind of look at who's going to be there and then decide what I want to get signed. So I've never just really thought about how, if I had something that I wanted signed, who would I get it signed by?
The other thing that I know I'm probably losing time on, I eventually got to get to, and again, I'm probably only going to be able to find it at a con, would be, and I was kicking myself because before I got into this, he was at the MegaCon out here, which is Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd.
That would have been some good ones.
That would be a cool book.
Yeah,
are you saying like a book or a pop, or either?
Either way. Now, actually, speaking of books, something Wayne said earlier, it just popped in my head. He had said something where he didn't realize that sometimes how close things come, and that goes into. And I have not read them. I've read like stuff on the internet about them, but the Marvel Zombie books. Of course, we know I'm hugely a fan of these Marvel Zombie pops. Sure. I love every part of them. But have you read the Marvel Zombie books? And are they something that people should be trying to get on top of the pops?
I haven't. There's another run, not the recent. I've read some of the other ones, and I guess the Marvel Zombies. I feel like that's something for a specific. Like someone's like, "Oh, I really like zombies." Like for me, I'm like, I don't really gravitate towards the whole zombie thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love a good zombie apocalypse movie. But I was even in the movie based on the zombie apocalypse. It's called Dead Weight. That's Dead Weight.
Man, I love it.
I love it.
I'm just the extra at the bar, but it was great being in it. But no, like I said, I don't necessarily gravitate towards those, but it's a fun thing to see the characters like that though. So
I think Zombieland's my only zombie movie. I
haven't seen the one with
the Double Tap.
You are messing up if you have
not seen it. I'm seeing the one with Bill Murray and who played Kylo Ren. What's his name again?
You are messing up.
What's the guy's name that played Kylo Ren? I can't remember his name.
I don't know.
Adam Driver.
There you go.
You are messing up severely. I think that's the only like Zombielands that I can only watch them over and over and over and over.
Wait, was Adam Driver in the original Zombieland?
No. I'm there. This is Bill Murray was in both of these movies I'm talking about. But
well, you threw me off.
There's a one where Bill Murray and Adam Driver play like cops, and there's like a zombie type of part. And I don't remember what it's called, but
God, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of the name of the movie.
I wouldn't be able to think of it. Somebody in the comments, I'm sure, will be like, "Oh, that's that one."
Well, I don't know if we still have JKL over there, but he's our walking encyclopedia.
Yeah, he's our fact checker out there that usually gets it. Guy knows the most intriguing stuff out there. But that'd be interesting. But guys, real quick, any last questions for Adrian before we let him go? I know we got another really good guest coming. I think he's going to be a little late, so we got a little bit more time with Adrian here.
Now is the time you do your shameless plugs. Do as many of them as you can.
Let's get in there. first, before while people are thinking about any of the questions, what do you have going on, Adrian?
Yes.
Sure. Well, today, if you haven't seen it already, I just dropped a new video today. It's the Joker. I went full Joker, unboxing a Locksmith Komikz mystery box. They're from Instagram. But yeah, I went full, like I said, I went full Joker on this one, and
Makeup, everything.
oh yeah, which I don't usually go that far, but I was really trying to bring out, like, I wanted to, you know, I guess.
Well, what Joker are we talking about? We've had so many Jokers out there.
I kind of based mine on it's my own, but it had like the original, like from like Romero, and it also like kind of had a little touch of Mark Hamill, you know, from like the animated.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it was more so, I think it was like, because Mark Hamill, he's done like 5 different voices for the anime movie. So I think it was like all those into one, basically. So The Dead Don't Lie, is that what it's called? Okay.
If JKL says it, it's probably true.
All right. So
JKL's got it.
need to watch that because I heard it's hilarious. It's like an indie film. So it's like, it's kind of like an indie film in a way, I guess. So
I've been trying to tease after doing some of these horror boxes lately stuff I haven't seen. That I've been trying to tease that I may start doing some reaction videos.
Yeah, why not?
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Oh, trust
And
me,
that may be one.
I've done like, you know, so I dropped, that's the video I dropped today. I hope everyone goes and watches it. I enjoyed doing it. The one I dropped last week was me doing Elmo unboxing something. So no, I did not dress up as Elmo. So if a kid hears it in the background, they're like, why is that man talking like Elmo? Then I got some cool interviews coming up with some like artists, and I also reached out to the guys at Comic Book Men, and I'm probably going to be doing something with them. So,
oh, nice.
So I'm, you know, there's just a lot of fun content. I'm just trying to put on new stuff. Unboxing's like, you know, I'm trying to make it different by doing impressions for every video, but it's like, oh, I also want to do a couple of different things to, you know, basically just try different things. I mean, and you guys know I do auctions and all that stuff on other people's channels and stuff, but that's, you know, that's not my channel. I just do fun craziness. So
I say keep making it your own. That's what makes each one of us different. I don't think that I can think of a single channel that does it exactly like another channel. So I just keep making it your own.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just really trying to, like, okay, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it my thing. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. You know, so.
And that's the thing is we say it all the time. We say it, we said it with JB last Saturday. As long as you are having fun,
Yes.
It's not, I mean, although this YouTube thing takes a lot of work, it doesn't seem like work when you're enjoying what you're doing.
Right. Very true. Very true. Yeah, that couldn't be said any better. You know, it's like, it's great, you know, and I'm glad I got to focus. Like, I've actually had my channel since 2006. So, you know, to finally to put more content that I think is just more fun, you know, like I kept a couple of the old videos on there just so people could get an idea of the random junk I posted on there, you know, like it has nothing to do with what I'm doing now, but it's just like, it was fun to see. And I was like, oh, I'll keep it up there just in case.
I really do not. I have my original video up still, and I really do. I don't want to go back and watch it because I'm afraid of it right now.
You should definitely go back and watch
You
it.
evolve. I mean, that's the natural thing, man. You evolve, and you get better. You're like, oh, this works, and you know. So yeah, no, it is. So, yeah, that's good.
Sorry, I had to laugh from a comment from Bearded.
Is your camera moving with you? Does your camera move with you? No?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So back up a little bit. Your camera moves. Come back forward.
It does. It actually moves with you.
Your camera moves. So what's going on? What gives?
I don't know.
I've been sitting there noticing that. You go backwards, camera moves. You go forward, camera moves.
What are you talking about?
Anyways, I got it.
All right. Well, I want to thank you as always.
Sorry if I missed any comments. Or, you know, anybody, if you have any questions, you guys, hit me up on Instagram. Solid High, the comic guy on Instagram. Like, easier.
So what is your YouTube page? Is it Adrian APM?
No, I mean, actually, because it has the original. So it's just youtube.com/Solid High.
I also did pull a link.
I'll pop up. Though,
yeah, let's see if we can get him a link over in the description.
I did pull a link on there, and then also Christina.
I think
she's in through my channel too right now. And I should probably make bearded. Oh no, I think you have to do it on yours because as you know, I think you might have seen on through JB's. We actually run this on 2 different channels. So some people in one, like Christina, is coming in through my channel, but the people that are in Wayne's channel can't see that one. So I do have a link in all the descriptions down below, whether it's Wayne or mine, for their channels as well. That goes right to their main screen. And you can always click on that as well. And then, of course, I would assume somewhere on your main screen has all your Instagram information, stuff like that.
Yep.
Hit up Adrian APM, especially if you got any comic book questions you're looking to sell your collection, want to know the best way to do. I know you and I have had some just random conversations, and you nothing but a great amount of knowledge. And I've always thanked you for everything. And on top of it, Adrian was when I did my last collectible swap. Adrian was the one that sent me my box.
Yeah,
and I was ecstatic about that box. I absolutely loved it. In fact, you got me a pop that I was on. It was on my list to find, and because Wayne and I talked about it before, because I know Wayne wanted it too, was the Loki box from that free comic day.
That's a low blow.
I wanted the comic. So.
That's a low blow.
I wanted the pop. That's really what I want. I wanted the pop. So you gave me the pop.
So some of this stuff that Funko releases, I think that there must be like some insiders before this stuff releases, especially when it comes to Target stuff or like those boxes. I couldn't get one of those boxes to save my life, and I was on it like the day of it releasing it, and they just sold out that quick. Was it an awesome box? Did you like the comic book?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was. I mean, the comic book it's Thor #1, but it's the Loki cover, So, but the Thor series is amazing. So yeah.
We were friends for about 2 seconds here.
And then of course he puts a note, and he kind of teases me a little bit because I've heard of that comic book booth that does some great stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a cool Spider-Man box and everything. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. He's got a note that, oh yeah, you don't get nothing. I'm like, what?
I just thought it'd be funny because I was like, oh, I got like that much more space, and I don't want to I was like, yeah, let's say you're a bad boy. You don't get anything, So.
Don't get anything.
But I do like him, and man, you gave me some variant covers that I had never even seen before. I loved the comics, and nonetheless, were
glad
awesome.
You liked it, man. Like I put it together, and I was like, I hope whoever gets it, when I knew, I was like, I felt like it was gonna be an awesome box, So
and that was always my fear, because I think I got comic book poser on mine, and that's only hard part about doing those videos sometimes is, you try to do some research on the YouTuber you're doing stuff for and try to find good stuff for them. And sometimes you're not sure. Sometimes you want to throw something in, here and there. But, I got him, and I kept thinking, well, I don't want to send a comic guy comic books, because that's always weird. But because I knew he was a big indie guy. Yeah, I had some that I got from the con that I already read, and they were signed. So I'm like, well, he would really appreciate these being signed and being an indie comic and stuff like that. So, that's where we went. So, and luckily he enjoyed it. But those are always fun. I was debating on signing up for the Christmas one, but I ended up signing it up. Mama J twisted my arm a little bit, so I signed up for that one.
I'm in it too, so we'll see what happens.
I think there's like 80 YouTubers in it this time.
Yeah, I think it is 80 this time. Yeah.
So
the value went down a little bit, but I didn't really think about the value. I didn't say that. It was like, yeah, this can go in, this can go in, this can go in, this can go, like whatever.
But nonetheless, guys, hit Adrian APM. He's got some fantastic videos, the man of many voices and the many characters, and he's enjoying himself. And also, he's also in a ton of people's comic book auctions. So if you want to try to grab some comic books from him, hit him up. He will definitely help you out. So again, Adrian, thank you very much for coming in and joining us. It was a pleasure.
Adrian, it was good to meet you, bud.
Thanks for all the.
If y'all are not already subbed to his channel, make sure you go there and check that out. I haven't seen a over here in the description and the links. I haven't seen a link, but it's got to be there somewhere.
I did put it in the description.
Is it in there?
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal.
So, I put him and everybody, so that way you can make it to. I don't have your Instagram. I didn't put any of that information there, but you can find it through the channel.
That's right.
So thank you, bud. I appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your Friday.
You too. Thank you for having me, guys.
Hey, it's good
All
to
right.
meet you.
So that's always fun. Again, did you learn anything about some comic books there, buddy?
All right, so my brain's about the size of a peanut. So let's start there, right? So, and I'm very ADD, and it took me like a long time in life to. Okay, so I got diagnosed at being ADD at like 27. So I mean, very ADD. So it takes me a while to retain stuff, but I learned what I wanted to learn. I wanted to know how to get a comic, like, because eBay to me is just not the way that you do that. You
No.
don't go on eBay and spend money for something, especially when it's that valuable, or at least it's being considered that valuable. eBay just sounds like a sketchy place to spend that kind of money for a comic book.
Yeah, you definitely want to find something, that's legitimate, especially if you're going to drop a lot of money. I mean, come on, he had that Spider-Man #1
Wow.
I mean, up to 10 grand. I mean, we're in the wrong business if that's up to 10 grand.
Wow, right? Look, but it's not that uncommon to see comic books that have, but they've been around for so long, right?
Well, you go to the golden age of comics, the 40s, man. You go to the 40s, you find anything from the 40s, and they're high value.
I mean, so if you were collecting when we were kids, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard pressed to say that you'd have a comic book that was worth that kind of money. I mean, it's because they've been around for so long. It's not like Funkos. Funkos have been around since what, 2003 or 2004? 2004 is what I want to say is how long they've been around. So it's not like that, Funkos were coming around as we were just starting to go to the bars. I mean, we were already grown and we didn't have Funkos. So it's a little bit different scenario. Comic books are a lot of fun though, but that kind of money for a comic book seems like a lot.
And Bearded makes a very good point here. He says, I've learned one thing in life. If you're not an expert, find an expert and befriend one. And that's a great part about this YouTube community is there's so many great people out there and everybody's willing to help one another. If you got a question, I mean, I did one recently where, I can't remember where I got it now. I think I got it from Fox Crown. Was a Deadpool. It looked like the cover of the first appearance of Deadpool. And I originally was like, this doesn't seem right. And who the first person I quickly called? Remy, comic book poser. I hit him up and said, dude, what is this? And he knew right away. He's like, oh no, it's a variant cover, it was a reissue, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So you got to know, you got to have different people. And he comes to me, he's come to me for Funko questions. So, it's I guess you can have knowledge in a lot of things, but maybe not everything.
Yeah, and even if you have a little knowledge and stuff, if you're going to spend like any amount of money, I mean, Bearded Barbarian has a point. I mean, you're going to want to find somebody that knows a little bit more about it than you do. I mean, or I do, because I don't know like grading. I don't know any of that stuff. So I would want it to go through someone who had a clear understanding as to what they were looking at. I see that Pop to Heat asked, what's the average price of a comic? Now, I want to say $3.99, but you're going to be the comic person. So
yeah, and that may be even something that when we get metaphorical, he's running a little bit late with his babysitter. But he'd probably be the best person to ask. But I believe with the ladies, when I've been in a comic book store, again, that's hard because I go through the boxes, so I try to find the old stuff. But if you're looking at what's on the front shelves, I mean, you're running anywhere between like a $3.99 to a $6.99 if it's like a higher up one, kind of like that Marvel, those bigger Marvel books where it tells you about the history of Marvel and stuff like that. So it depends on who it is. It depends on the company it's coming from. If it's Marvel, if it's DC, it's definitely going to be more. If it's an indie cover, Image is usually about $1.99, I think. And again, I could be completely off on that, but we'll definitely ask Metaphorical when we get him on here.
Hey.
But
so while we're waiting on him, you want to talk about the New York con? I mean, we were going to wait and talk about that to the end, but I mean, we can go ahead and plug that in here now.
This is probably a good information. Now, actually, I'll let you go with this because you ended up finding out this information before I did.
Yeah, so they're doing this one on a lottery basis, and I don't know that. And here's the funny thing is they haven't really said if they're doing the whole thing on a lottery basis or if they're just doing a part of it on the lottery basis. And there's a lot of people out there that have already made videos that clearly have more information than we do. But if you have to make sure that you're signed up for Funko's fan base. Now, just being signed up with a Funko account is not going to get you in the lottery. You have to sign up for their fan base. And I don't know if they call it a fan base or Funko fan or whatever it is that they're calling it. But per second, they're going to start drawing for the lottery, a lot like they would in the cons. Just like in the con, you would get a number, and this number gives you access to buy pops on this day. It's going to be the same. So they're going to give you access to this number that's going to get you on their website that is going to allow you to buy the pops on that day. Now, there's going to be two different waves of that. There's going to be a first day wave and a second day wave, from what I understand. And you can tell me if you read it and you read it differently. But from what I understand, there's going to be a 2-day wave. They're trying to spread the pops out on these 2 days, which I don't really understand. If you gave it a 2-day wave and you said that this amount of people have site, then only many pops is how I feel. Now, I could be completely wrong in my feelings there, but if you're going to say that 10,000 of y'all are allowed to buy pops on this day, well, then they should have 10,000 for sale on that day, so that everyone that is buying on that day is guaranteed to get one. But that's not what it sounds like they're doing. So they're spreading from one day to the next day, and if you don't get them, you don't get them. But it's in combating the bot. So you kind of have to give them credit where credit is due. They are honestly trying to go after the bots. They're honestly trying to prevent that from happening. I don't know that this will prevent it. I think that if I was a reseller at this point, then I just sign up to be a Funko fan and hope that I get into lottery. I mean, so I can see where it's slowing them down, and it should help us from the website crashing. I mean, it should stop all of that. It should stop the Spotify from, is it Spotify that they were using, or which one was it they were using for shipping? Shopify.
Spotify's a music.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get it figured out in my head. I'm having some Biden moments today. So I mean, it should help it should help them in the shipping side. It should help their site. It should help us all the way around. But at the end of the day, it's still not going to make everybody happy. Okay, so I'm going to say, and I know that Chris is going to agree with me on this one, go into this expecting not to get what you want to get, right? Because we don't always get what we want to get. So go in, get what you want, and then try and check out. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. And you're going to have to start working the secondary market if you want it that bad. If it's me, I pass when it comes to the secondary market. I don't, if I don't get it in the first wave, or if I can't get it when it drops in the stores, then I just don't. And I'm okay with that, because I know they'll release another one, right? They'll release another Mandalorian. They'll release another Child. They'll release another Batman. They will release another, but go into this with the expectation that you're probably not going to get what you want, and that it's okay, and that they honestly tried, right? I mean, they honestly gave it an effort.
I at least like seeing Funko try. Now, I mean, look at Beard of Barbarian. It says, won't stop the bots. The bots are busy making fan accounts. Maybe,
right.
But at least we're seeing Funko acknowledge the problems, and at least, improve. Now, I still think Shopify is half the problems with this. So as far as where they have to go with it, but at least they're making an effort to try something differently. That's right. I think they've heard us loud and clear on how unhappy we were. Although even as unhappy as we were, we're all still going to be out there buying it.
Right, and I mean, that's what you said is very valid, and everyone needs to remember it's at least they are trying, right? They are trying to make an honest effort to combat the bots. Now, are they going to do it? No. People don't understand that bots are a person. When you say bot, people automatically think, well, it's a robot, right? It's a computer somewhere. It is not. It's a software that you add onto your computer that puts everything in your cart for you. And then all you have to do is go through this is not a robot. This is my pay, and that's it. So in essence, it's a person that's a lot faster than you. It's not a bot. So we look at it in the wrong way. Just go into it knowing that they tried to stop it. And I think that's the only thing that they're ever going to be able to do is try. Yeah. I mean, at least they're not doing to us like they did on San Diego Con, right? At least they're not saying, oh yeah, we're going to combat it and then do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that was, I think that was what pissed people off more, is the fact that you're saying you're trying to do something, but you don't.
Right.
And I think that's really what annoyed people more on it. So
I mean, so I'm going to be annoyed when this is over with. I already know it. I mean, I'm under no delusion that I'm going to be annoyed. The difference is this time I know it, and I'm going to just go with it no matter what happens. If I get what I want, I get what I want. If I don't, I don't, and that's life. And that's just the way it is, and that's the way we're going to have to look at it.
again, and it's just like we talked last time. The biggest thing of this is you go through that list. I mean, of course, there's probably a lot of pops, maybe a lot of you guys want. There's only a few of the pops that I want. Have a game plan going into it. Get in there, click the ones you want real fast, and get out. If there's ones that you were on the fence about, don't do that the first time around. Try to get back in line again to get those later on. But your top ones, I say take the top 4 items to get you over that $50 free shipping area and go. That's my advice.
Now, the way they're doing this, there will be no second buying. Your number will only be good for one.
Oh, no second buying. Huh?
There will be no second buying. You will be able to go in there one time, make one purchase, and then you'll be locked out. I mean, so it's go in there, get what you want with the understanding that, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put everything in my cart that I want. And if I get to check out and it's not there, then so be it. And I'm not going to stress about it. And I'm not going to I know that I'm going to get upset. I say that I'm not. I definitely for 30 minutes, I'm going to be totally pissed. But then I'm just going to understand that at least they tried to make it a better experience for me. I mean, or for us, not for me. They tried to make it a better experience. They tried to combat the bots. They honestly were making an effort to do something. It wasn't like they said, oh, we're going to do something and didn't do nothing and then tell me that it was my fault that they did nothing. I mean, so they're not doing that. So I'll accept what they're doing. I don't know how this is going to work with they give you a number with a login and you log in at this time on this day. I mean, we're going to see how that works. It could be great. It could be a total fail.
Yeah, and again, we got it. We have to let them try to make some changes in order before we do it. But then again, I mean, it could be a total fail, and it just gives us more fuel to talk about on the next week. So it's a win-win either way. So I'm good with that either way. I mean, like I said, I think for me, the only one that I'd have to go back and look at them again. But the only one that sticks out of my mind, and that's how you're always going to know what your top item is the only one that sticks out of my mind that I absolutely have to have is that zombie Daredevil. That's the one I want.
There's only about 4 of them, to be totally honest, that I just have to have. The rest of them are like that. If I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. And even those 4 are like, if I get them, I get them. If I don't, I don't. I think they got caught slipping on this con, and I don't really know why.
Well, it's kind of what you were saying. I think a lot of it is maybe items where we were originally talking about where they announced the Funkos at the Toy Fair end of last year, and then realized, oh, we forgot about these. Let's just talk. This is like the last. I mean, I think this is pretty much the last big con of the year. So now they're just going, well, let's just toss this other stuff in there as a con item. But it's really just, I mean, it's as a common pop as you'll ever see it.
That is honestly what it feels like to me. It feels like to me, they said, hey guys, we have these extra pops. We know that they'll never sell out in any real world scenario. Let's throw them in the con and they'll sell out within an hour or less than an hour, probably about 10 minutes. I mean, because we're going to be totally honest, a lot of them, I think, sell out within seconds. So it really feels that way to me, that because they had no con and they had no one saying, no, we don't want these pops, we want those pops. It feels a lot like to me, they just said, hey, let's throw these in there and we'll just sell them out. And I even feel like they kind of did it with the San Diego con. I feel like after the San Diego con, they probably come out with some pops they should have had in the San Diego con. So until the cons get back to normal, I think that we're going to see more of that. We're just going to throw them in a con to sell out, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't disagree with it either. I mean, it's good business.
Exactly. And like I said, it's again, I think, are they going to sell out? You know what I think is going to be, I don't know if you noticed recently, I was just on Funko's website the other day, and they still had, and you could always tell what's going to be the least commonly sold one. They're still selling the Harry Potter one from San Diego Comic-Con.
You know what annoys me? You know what annoys me? They keep putting that Stay Puft guy on there.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw it about 2 weeks ago.
He sells out. They put him back on. He sells out, they put him back on. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Well, and then the thing is, that's what I've been. That's funny is, and that's actually been helping me because they're doing the same thing with the Back to the Future pops. They got some old school Back to the Future pops that keep popping up. I don't have them yet, so I mean, it just helps me to grab them. But you guys got to keep checking the Funko website. I have been noticing that, especially all those 60th anniversary Disney ones that they had up there. Not the castle, of course. You can't find the castle anywhere, but the other 60th ones, they keep popping up. And that's the thing with Funko is every time. You may not see like double shipments from the stores like Target or Walmart, but you're gonna see resurgence from these things on the Funko website. Not everything, but a good amount of stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of annoying. To me, it really kills the value of them. And it also lets you know that they can put them back up for sale at any given moment. I mean, so if you think that you have a pop that's worth a lot of money, it could tank tomorrow with the rate that they're putting them on there. And I don't really have any that are worth a lot of money. So, I mean, I'm not the person that's really concerned about that. But if I had a pop that was $2,000-$3,000, I mean, I would truly be concerned that they would just drop it back on there another day. I mean, that would be a concern of mine.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, I don't know. I think the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this whole thing and that whole video that we did last week talking over these is that's the only part of this so far that I'm disappointed in is the fact that I think they're just trying to get rid of stock.
No, I don't know if they're trying to get rid of stock or if they've made more, and that's the part that would concern me. If I had a pop that was a $1,000 pop or a $2,000 pop, it would concern me that maybe tomorrow they just decide to make it again, and so something that went from a few thousand now becomes 10,000. So now my pop is worth $20 instead of $2,000. I mean, look, I don't know that would ever happen in a real world scenario, but it looks like it. Look at the Stay Puft guy. I said that I would never have that pop. It sold out so quick. It was the 10-inch pop. So the first chance I had to grab 2 6-inch Stay Puffs, I grabbed them because I said, I'm never going to get the 10-inch version. I'll take the 6-inch. Now they're putting it on their website every other day. And that was a $150 10-inch pop.
Mm-hmm.
I bet now it's a $20 pop all day long. I mean, and so that would concern me.
And Tori, I do agree with you. My whole screen just went weird. I do agree with you. You can't. I have seen the actual castle with Mickey, but that's not the one everybody wants. Everybody wants a castle with Walt,
right?
And that's the one up there that everybody wants because, of course, I mean, how many Walt Funkos are there? I mean, and I think that alone is the biggest reason everybody wants that one. I would like to get that one.
I think there's one. Am I right on that? I mean, I don't
know. I'd have to look it up. But
yeah, I think there's one other Walt Disney pop, just like there's only one other. God, I had this the other day because I was just looking into that because I was wondering the same thing with why everybody was going so crazy over the Walt Disney, the castle in the Mickey, and why they were going so crazy. So I want to say that there's only one other Walt, and there was only one other somebody else, and I can't remember which one it was now. But I was just looking at this the other day.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I mean, I was just like looking at that the other day.
Well, see, and I was hoping. I had a lot of people that do know I'm out here in Florida. They started hitting me up saying, did you guys get them? I'm like, dude, that's Disneyland. They're not going to get that stuff out here in Disney World. That's the first 65th out there, so that's special to that park. Now, next year, we may see a lot of stuff, I would assume, from Funko, being that Magic Kingdom at its 50th anniversary. So I would assume we're going to start seeing, sometime next year, we're going to start seeing some special ones and going from there.
The funny thing is, a lot of those have been at Hot Topic.
The which ones?
The Disney ones.
The castle?
I've seen 2 of the Donalds now at Hot Topic. So it's one of them where he's in a ride.
Yeah, he's in I think he's like
it's in a train car or something.
Is it the train? Yeah, it was the train cars, or he was on the Matterhorn or something like that.
And then there's that one. I've seen both of those at Hot Topic. I think it's insane that they're at Hot Topic, but I mean, they're there. But it could just be a mistake. Look, I see things all the time now that are confusing. So I've seen Hot Topic exclusives at Walmart. I've seen more exclusives on the Funko site than I think there should be. I think and then Deadpool is supposed to be exclusive to Walmart in the zombie series.
No, you know what? I did find that. I did just find that out. I had a good conversation with somebody this week, and I apologize if you're on here and you told me this, but I screwed up. And actually, Walmart screwed up because you and I were talking. I said, I saw online that you can only get Deadpool at Walmart. That is not true. The only exclusive that Walmart got was the glow in the dark Mysterio. That's the only one. But they had, and if you saw my video of the zombie pops I got, you would see that they all have Walmart exclusives. Those stickers were put on by incorrectly. Those were not Walmart exclusives at all.
So does that mean that it's worth more with the Walmart exclusive sticker on there?
I'm still trying to find that out. I have no idea. I think that would be cool if it was, but I have no idea.
I don't know. Hey, so switch over to the private chat real quick and take a look at that.
Yeah, and I think I've been going back and forth with Meta on Instagram. Unfortunately, I think he had some personal things looks that like came up. Hey, these things happen, guys. I mean, just even though we're YouTubers and stuff like that, I mean, things happen last minute, and I get it. And we're definitely Meta's a good guy, huge wealth of knowledge, and we'll definitely have to reschedule him back on the show at some point, but I don't think we're gonna be getting Meta on today. He did pop in on the backstage earlier while we were still heavy into Adrian's discussion. Then he popped off, and that's where he had sent me that private comment. But yeah, so it's all right, guys. Like I said, even though we're YouTubers, we still have things that happen last minute that's unforeseen. So it's all good. But we're thankful that Adrian was able to come on and join us. Had a great conversation with him. So I think we're gonna do the comic edition again in the future. I think the next one we're gonna focus more on some Funko people. I know that makes Wayne happy because it's right in his wheelhouse.
I don't mind either way.
I will make a comic fan out of you before you know it.
I've slowly but surely I'm coming over to the dark side. I like my Deadpool comics, but like I said, the problem is I have to drive forever to get them. I mean, it's been one thing if I could just
got to set up with somebody, whether you find out. I mean, do you have a comic book store in your
and no one wants to ship. I mean, I think it's they want you to come into the store.
Yeah, but I would think if it's a comic book, he's still selling it, whether he's shipping it or not.
I agree.
And I mean, weekly thing. I think most comic guys should be up for that. I mean, unless it's kind of, and I've gone into some stores that I mean, I'm not on Adrian's level of comics, but I've gone to some stores and they're just kind of snobs and like, oh, you don't know enough about comics. Well, just because you're starting out or you're getting back into it doesn't mean you don't have a love for comics,
right?
But yeah, there are some people that live on that level, but there's other people. Another good guy that I've had some great conversations with. I've done a mystery box with him. I don't know if he does the new stuff, but I'll definitely put you in contact. There's a guy named Grant's Comics. Great dude. Has some great stuff, and I think he has his own shop, and he will definitely do that. But like I said, there's Mainstream's another real good one to hit up, stuff like that. So I think there's all kinds of different places out there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the Deadpool monthly edition sent straight to me. To me, it just makes more sense to have it sent to my house.
Just saying, it says, Wayne, I'll bring my collection
over and we'll play karate in the garage. Just saying. Karate garage bunk beds.
Karate garage.
Karate in the garage with bunk beds. We're gonna build us some bunk beds later.
Oh, there we go.
Classic
there we go.
Channel. Oh, you wormy chat. Yeah. All right, guys. So,
but
I think we're gonna call it a night.
Yeah, I think that's gonna about do it. Again, thank you for Adrian for coming on. Meta will get him back on in the future, and so first, before we get as normal, what you got going on this week, Wayne?
I don't really have a whole lot going on right now. I mean, I have so many of them that are kind of piled up back there. I think I kind of said it early on that I've gotten so many Entertainment Earth boxes down there that it's kind of insane, to be totally honest. And then I'm kind of starting to take a slightly different approach on my videos than I used to. So I kind of hope that that's being well received by the community. I'm kind of slowly not doing unboxings, which is kind of weird for me. So it's I think about one video every week right now is really not an unboxing. It's more of a news update, or it might just be me following myself around with the camera. I mean, I've kind
He's
of
gonna have that droid hover over his head for like
kind
an
of
hour.
started looking at my videos a little differently than I used to. Not really changing my channel. I'm just maybe changing the way I film the channel. So I mean, there's some definite changes, and I think that everyone should be able to see them already. I mean, like at the beginning, there's normally something going on other than me talking. I mean, so I have that definite change right off the jump, and then I go back into another intro like after I talk. So there's some channel changing stuff coming up that looks like it's well received, and I hope it stays that way. If it's not, don't throw me a nasty comment over there, like I say always, because I'm not going to read it anyways. I don't like negative people, only positive.
Exactly.
Chris,
Because
hey,
if
what
I-
you got going on?
Like I said, just like him. I mean, the part of being a YouTuber is we can continue doing the same stuff over and over again. But the benefit about being a YouTuber is we're very. It puts us on. I don't even want to use that phrase, but sometimes we like to be creative. We like to do different things. We like to try different things, and that's a part of trying to make your channel better and making you better. So that leads into. I got something new today. Again, we talked about it earlier in the show. If you caught my IG earlier today, I did a live, and I had fun. I went out to Disney Springs today. I figured for me, Disney's right in my backyard. Why have I not gone to Disney Springs and filmed there yet?
You should
Because I've been afraid.
Disney.
I've been afraid of that one.
Killing Disney.
Although doing Comic-Cons has helped me get used to talking to the camera in front of people, today really helped. I decided, I'm going to do it. Got my mic out, got my stand going, and I just went out there and filmed. I was looking for Funko Pops. That was the main premise, but I found they have a ton of really, really cool stuff out there. A ton of really cool Star Wars stuff. You're going to like some of the stuff I found over there.
One day. One
sure.
day I'll make it there.
But like I said, this is just Disney Springs. If wait for the video should be out next week. I still got to edit, go through all the footage. But if you guys like it, let me know. If this is something you guys want me to continue doing, let me know. Because sometimes with us, just like what Wayne's doing, it's about trying different things, getting into different things, seeing how they're received, and then if that doesn't work, pivot and try something else. I do have something coming out, and I do have something in the works. This is a first announcement, and I bet you don't even know about this.
You're changing your channel to a Star Wars channel.
Never. And I'm glad JB just jumped on, because Star Wars is still not going to happen.
The suspense was. I thought that's where you were going. I thought you said from now on I only film in the Millennial Falcon. I was all on board.
No, but I am in the works for a new. I'm not going to say logo, because I know you hate my logo, but I love my logo. And but I've got a new version. I'm not even going to say new version. I'm still my logo is still going to be with my logo, but I've got a new rendition of it coming out.
Get a new variant.
That I'm eventually going to do a new variant. There we go. I like that word. A new variant, a new version where it's eventually going to be stickers, and play around with it here and there. But it's not done yet yet. It should be done by next week. The first place that's going to get it is the Patreon.
Yeah, that's the first place I'm sending all of mine from.
So if you guys want to see what I got coming up, what a really, really cool thing, hit up Patreon again. It's going to be Patreon only exclusive content. And I've got some half film stuff right now that I do still plan on putting on the Patreon exclusive content only. So Star Wars, you got these guys going.
Got
Kenny and Star Wars.
Wars.
Hey, again, if maybe this is something you guys enjoy, maybe I have to get a reservation for studios and go spend a day filming Star Wars Land. If that's something you guys want to
Why
see,
would you not film Star? Whoa!
I don't know.
I'm just
I don't
totally
know.
offended.
I just
now.
haven't done it yet. I
The
just
whole
haven't done it
chat's
yet.
offended. The whole chat's offended at this point.
Hey, if you guys want.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. I'm speechless. But anyway, we got new stuff. We got, of course, the similar boxes coming up. But yeah, that's what I got going on. All kinds of fun going on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna help you out real quick. So on my Patreon, I actually, after we had we got to hang out with JB for almost like an hour and a half the other day, and we got to get some really cool advice from JB. And if y'all haven't checked out Discovery Baby Comics, I see that he stepped over there in the chat. Y'all should definitely go check out this channel. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. I probably listen to his channel more than anyone else's channel, just because I can kind of sit my phone on play and do whatever it is I'm doing while he's doing what he's doing, which is normally very entertaining. So go check out his channel if you have not already. But after talking to him and kind of picking his brain for a little while, I've added a tier into my Patreon. But when I say like I've added a tier into my Patreon, it's very, very, very base.
This coming from the man who said he was never going to add another tier.
Yes. So this tier is at a whole $1.50, right? I mean, it's a whole $1.50.
Big money.
It's big money. But this is kind of like, when people want shout outs, I am putting them on my page. So when you go to my YouTube page, it'll have a creator shout outs on there. Just like we kind of talked to JV and we were picking his brain and he was telling us all of that. It's right on there. So I mean, if you want to be added to that playlist, go over to my Patreon's $1.50. Look, you can't buy a coffee at $1.50. It's just not going to happen. It's going to get you the exposure that I have on my page. So whatever you think that's worth, I think it's worth at least $1.50 for as much work that I put into that page. So it's there. If you just want shout outs, that's the easiest way to do it. I think it's a great idea. I love that our Patreons are going in the direction that they are. That was a straight idea that I took from JB, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. JB's a smart.
Yes.
I can't even speak anymore. JB's a smart man. I love the guy. Great channel. Again, if you haven't checked JB out, Discovery Bay Comics, definitely hit him up. Huge friend of of both Wayne and I. And we like every minute. And I told him, I said, I told JB after we talked, JB, you need to do a streaming course. He needs to start a whole course.
Yeah.
He needs to sell the course, because you know how many people just in our community alone would buy his course to learn how to do what he does.
Loads of people. And this is the other thing that I'm going to say real quick is JB has a Patreon that he will actually teach you. And I think that's kind of what I gathered from that, what he was talking to us that one day. So go check out his Patreon. Something about he'll give you advice. He'll help you out. That alone is probably well worth whatever it is he's charging, which is probably not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. But if you want some like good advice from a solid YouTuber, he's the one to go get it from, personally from me at this moment.
And one of the quick personal shout out that I'm going to give as well. I know she was on here earlier. I don't know if she's still on here, but on my side, one of the great moderators that I do have, Christina Payne. She does have a channel and she's getting real close to 1,000 subscribers. I don't have it in the description down below, but definitely look up Christina Payne, hit her up. She's a fantastic person. She supports just about every YouTube channel that I know of around here. So show her some love. So
I kind of hope that she's still here right now, because I've been trying to find her channel under Christina Payne and it is non-existent. So it must be under a different name of some sort.
What I'll do, guys, is on the replay. If you guys want to, definitely hit her up. I will add her channel. I'll find out what her channel is, and I'll add it to the description on down, at least on mine. Maybe I'll send it to Wayne so he can add it to his. Yes. And then we'll definitely show Christina some love. She is fantastic on how much she supports everybody. And I just may have to grab this tier before you get it to it, because he has only one spot left.
I'm just saying. You ready to call it a night? I got to go eat some.
I'm ready to call it a night. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Hit those subscribe buttons if you haven't done so already. And again, if you guys are interested in either one of our Patreons, again, we don't have the same Patreon. It's two different Patreons. But if you're interested in either one of the Patreons, definitely check out the links down below. Get ready for the next month's giveaway, because again, we only do giveaways through our Patreon subscribers. So hit us up there and go from there. We're going to be adding more exclusive content. But again, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good one.